Hello everyone, welcome to Christiaan's Rhythm Workout episode 4. And in this episode we're going to take a look at how to play rhythm for the song China Boy. In this series we go song by song and I teach you exactly how I play rhythm for a certain song. Now I'm not going to go into the mechanics of actual rhythm playing because I made several tutorials about that already. So if you are new to Gypsy Jazz Rhythm, check out those tutorials. There are links to them in both the description and in the comments. This week it's time for China Boy, and that's usually a song that's played pretty fast. Might be 280 to 320, but I chose to do it today at tempo 240. Just to ease into it at a more comfortable speed. Now, I'm going to show you the chords that I play. If you want to download the chart with all the chord diagrams, you can download them from my Patreon. They are available at the $5 level. You can find the link to Patreon in the description. Now, if you want to have access to the backing track I'm using, because I'm going to play with a backing track with only bass, right? So it's not very audible because it's coming from this little speaker into the microphone way up here, but it's basically a backing track with only the bass in 2, like this. And the bass is super loud if you have the backing track downloaded. And then you can play rhythm, or you have to play rhythm in 4 on top of that. So it's really good to both practice all the chords, of course, but also to practice your steadiness, because it's 12 choruses of a bass in 2 at a constant speed. So let's get started with the first 8 bars. So it starts with F6, and as usual, if it's a 6 chord, I play it like this. So it's 1, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, but I always focus on the lowest 4 strings, so on this chord here. So I have my fingers on the top strings, but I'm not really playing them. I do reach for the bass with my thumb. If you can't reach that, you can play it without bass and just mute that string. But I have big hands, so for me it's pretty easy to reach that F, and it gives even more body to the chord. So that lasts 6 bars, but I like to play C7 at least once in there to vary the sound. So for instance, I could do that in the second bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I play C7 on the third beat, but in the chart I wrote it in the 4th bar on beat 3. So we get 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, C7 right there. Gives a little bit of a push to that long F chord. And then we go to D7, and that's voiced like this: 5, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5. And again, it's only the lowest 4 strings I'm focusing on. I don't really care about those high strings, and you will barely hear them. If you want to know more about that, check out my videos with the mechanics of Gypsy Jazz Rhythm. So let's play those first 8 bars with the backing track. Now, because all the chords last pretty long, right? 6 bars, 2 bars, 4 bars. This is a great song to practice your embellishments. And again, that's in that video, in the second video, the tutorial about Gypsy Jazz Rhythm. Let me give you an example what it could sound like without explaining it, because again, the details are in that other video. So we go to the next 8 bars to G7. And here there are several ways to play it. So in the chart I wrote to jump from this D7 to this G7, which is exactly the same grip, right? But now it's on the 9th fret. And that lasts 4 bars. 2, 3, 4. And now there are several possibilities. You can either play G half diminished C7. So you could play, right, this voicing on the middle strings, 10, 11, 10, 11. To C7, to F. But in this chart I chose to play B flat minus 6, which I think is more common in this song. But then I'm not choosing to play this B flat minus 6, but to play this one, which is an inversion with a third in the bass. But I think it sounds really nice to play this G7 followed by this voicing 2. It's what they call voice leading, which is not something I really care that much about in rhythm per se, but in this case I think it's really nice to play that. 3. You get this nice. You hear this F staying with the lower voices moving down, going to the E for C7 to F. So you get the C7, it's the voicing that I really like to play for C7. You have it down here, of course, but in this part I play it like this. On the 7th fret, it's 8, 7, 8, 9 to F6 the other way. So we had it down here, right? And this is the other way to do it. It's 8, 8, 7, 7, 8, 8. Again, focusing on the lowest 4 strings. So let's play the first 16 bars with the backing track. So I didn't talk about that last chord, it's E flat 7, but it's the same voicing as the same grip as all the other 7 chords. Because for the bridge we're going to go to A flat 6. So the bridge is basically 7 bars of A flat 6 and then 1 bar C7 to get back to F. But it's kind of boring to play A flat only. I mean, it's possible, but I like to alternate between A flat and E flat. So I play A flat 6, E flat 7, A flat 6, E flat 7, A flat 6, E flat 7, A flat 6, and then C7. Now, a couple of things you could do, because you could play, I like to play that too, so I like to play A flat 6, E7, E flat 7, A flat 6. Or, another way is A flat 6, B flat minus 7, which is 6 mute 6 6 6. E flat 7, A flat. So now I have 3 possibilities. I could just do the vanilla version that's in the chart, just E flat 6, E flat 7, or E7, E flat 7, or B flat minus 7, E flat 7. So all 3 in a row would sound like this: 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're gonna go to the last 4 bars, so let's continue before I play the whole song. Or the last 8 bars, I'm sorry. So it's F6 for 2 bars, going to G sharp diminished, and I play it like this. So it's only 3 strings, or it's only 3 notes. It's actually 4 strings, because the muted string, the muted A string, I would still hit, it still produces a sound, kind of dry sound that I like. So it's 4 mute 3 4. So I don't play that. You could play the 3rd fret on the B string. I usually don't play it. I used to play this 3-note voicing. So F6, G sharp diminished, and then 2, G minor 7, 5, C7, F, and then C7 again to get back to the beginning. Another way to do it is to play F6 and then play this B diminished chord. That's something that somebody like Nusche would prefer to play. He would play this chord, and Stochlo too, which would be the middle strings 2, 3, 1, 3. But this voicing is more difficult to grip if you have never played it. But it sounds great too. And my way. I would use both of them. So one chorus I would maybe do this diminished chord, and in the other chorus I would do this one. Same goes for the beginning, right? When we jumped from D7 to G7, you could also play this G7, 2, 3, 2, 3, which is a really nice voicing in the middle strings. I was talking about this exact voicing in last week's episode about I'll See You in My Dreams. Go check that out. There's a link to the playlist with all the episodes in the description. So then you would play D7 and then go to this G7. And then you could go to this B flat minor 6, which would be 6 mute, 5, 6, 6. So it looks like E flat 7, but it's not E flat 7 because I'm not playing a note on the A string. So you would get D7, G7, 4 bars, B flat minor 6, C7, and then we're back what it says here in the chart. So let me play 2 choruses, and then the first chorus I'm gonna play exactly what's in the chart, and the second chorus I might play some of those variations, and I might maybe shift the chords around a little, use some embellishments, which you can learn about in the tutorials. Let's do it. There you go, it's a really nice jam tune, and usually it's played much faster, right? You would get maybe something like... You could actually practice that with my backing track by pressing on the 3 little dots in the top right corner, or the cogwheel, and then put the speed on 1.25, and you would get something like this. If you can do that for 12 choruses, it's extremely fast, then you're probably ready to handle any tempo. Again, if you want to download the chart, check out my Patreon at the $5 level. If you want to have access to the backing track, and not only this backing track, but also backing tracks for the other episodes, you should join at the $10 level. Or you could just watch my hands in this video and learn it that way. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.